What is up, everybody, and welcome once again to the Unrelated Sports Podcast. I'm Andy McConnell. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, Mr. Cody Allstat. Cody, how are we?
That's me. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, the Packers won this weekend, so I gotta be good.
Hey, the Dolphins won too. It was miraculous.
Yeah, I mean, miracles do happen, I guess, because that hasn't happened for both of us, and now your team's only like a game out of the division lead.
Yeah, it's and at least the division's strong.
Yeah, it's not like you got a head coach fired or anything already.
No.
Yeah.
Another one on a hot seat, or maybe two of them on a hot seat, maybe three. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun. So
you want to see?
So
week
you had a good
5?
weekend though.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did. I was in a golf tournament with some friends. It didn't go well.
But
I bet we were
have
on
fun?
the green. Oh yeah, it was a great time. I bet we were on the green in regulation 13 times and made maybe 2 birdies as a group of 4. Like, we just could not get a putt to drop.
Should I call you Rory then, or should we call you guys Rory?
Maybe. I know we did eagle the first hole, so like it was hole 6 at Ocean. Felt really good. One guy's drive, Christian. My second shot put us to 10 feet, and then Austin putted it in on the first putt of the day. First putt for him in years. Sinks it for eagle. We're thinking it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, see, I would be the opposite. As soon as you start off that hot, it's like that hot. It's like, oh, this is only going to go down from here.
And we scrambled for pars probably the next 3 or 4 holes, but then we got to the par 3s. I think we were on, but like short. We were on short on the first shot, and they were back greens, and that was a 3-putt.
See, that's where you need me with my short game, like my little chipping game.
Dude, we were on. We weren't.
Oh yeah, duh. We weren't. Never mind.
Chipping wouldn't have helped.
That's what you think.
On the green, yeah, that's smart. That'd get you kicked out of a course real quickly.
Good. Challenge accepted.
Terrible etiquette.
I'd be a good teammate. I have great etiquette.
Never again.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. Is your back still? Is that feeling any better from that?
I've iced it. It's okay. Icy Hot has been sponsoring me since then, so.
Okay. We'll get them to be a sponsor eventually of the podcast, so we'll be good.
It's got to be. We're probably next on their list.
Yeah, I mean, who else would they go with?
So what other sports did you watch this weekend?
Let's see. Watched NASCAR Talladega. That was actually very disappointing.
There was a big wreck there, though, wasn't it?
Only 28 cars, largest that they've ever tracked in the Cup Series before.
That's pretty good.
And it's good because it helped out Ryan Blaney because he got plowed in the back by Alex Bowman earlier in the race and wrecked. So now some other guys just fell back in points to him. So now he has a 25-point buffer going into the Charlotte Roval, which is the cutoff race before they cut the field down to 8 playoff races.
Okay.
So other than that, I'm watching plenty of playoff baseball, which is, oh my gosh, it's been awesome to watch. It has. And then even watched a little WNBA ball. The Las Vegas Aces got beat by the New York Liberty. That's just a shame. And the Minnesota Lynx just beat the Connecticut Sun to go to the WNBA finals.
So it's
Lynx versus the Liberty. It's the top 2 teams from the year.
Okay.
So should hopefully be a good championship series.
Best of 5, right?
Yes, I think it's still best of 5. Yeah, They should go best of 7, but it is best of 5.
As it grows, it'll probably get to it. But right now, what?
Yeah.
Right now, there's 12. They're going to be to 13 soon.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15, something. Actually, I think they'll eventually get to 15 because I think
they have announced 15 teams. It's like a year gap between each one.
Yeah, because they got like Golden State type team coming in, a Toronto, and then Portland, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, watch a little bit of that. Like I said, watch the MLB playoffs, which I showed you. I just sent you that video of the Shohei Ohtani bat chuck. Like, not even a bat toss. That's a bat
He
chuck.
whipped it. He whipped it.
He's an alien. He's not real. And it is kind of cool. At least going into today, all four MLB series were tied at best one apiece, and
That's cool.
And the division series are all best of 5. So
okay, that's good. You want to see them competitive.
Yeah, and the Yankees got beat last night, so that always makes life a little bit better. And then let's see. Oh, and hockey season finally started.
Yeah, I know that the Florida Panthers beat the Boston Bruins 6-4, starting off the season right.
I know you just love to beat Boston teams too.
I do. Anytime I hear Boston losing, it doesn't matter if it makes it that much sweeter that it's a Florida team beating them, but anytime I hear anybody from Boston, the only thing I like from Boston is their terriers. It's my dog's a Boston Terrier.
Do you like Dunkin'? Do you like Dunkin' Donuts?
I'm a Krispy Kreme fan.
See, I've had Krispy Kreme. I prefer Dunkin' over those. Not the biggest Krispy Kreme
you have
guy.
Terrible food takes. We've discussed this many times.
Maybe I have one good food take and maybe you have a bad one.
That's not likely.
Okay, moving on. My Stars play on Thursday. So we begin our run for the Cup. Hopefully we can actually, get there maybe once.
Lord Stanley.
Yeah. One of the greatest trophies in all sports.
It is.
So yeah, other than that, that's... So I watched a lot of sports, and then obviously, what's that other sport? Oh yeah, football, that sport. I watched that a little bit too.
Definitely. You went to a game too, didn't you?
I did.
Or most of a game, even though you were talking about never leaving a game early and then you left early.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call you out on that, though.
That
Ray ripped him a new one.
Trust me, at that point, the game was over. There was no coming back. It was bad. You and I benched their starting quarterback.
That's not good.
It got bad. I guess. Well, then, you have anything else you want to talk about before we actually dive into football? Because we actually covered a lot in a little time right there.
We did. But I do want to talk about Wrexham. They got they're back on their winning ways. They righted the ship a little bit with a 4-1 win to put. They're still second in on the table. So
okay,
that's fun to see.
Nice.
Long season left, but
so let's see. I don't know. Yeah, because I'm just kind of scrolling and I don't know. Well, Cody, I guess. Are you ready? Do you want to talk about football?
Well, I thought you'd never ask.
Okay. Well, should we start off with my wonderful weekend down in Sioux Falls, Iowa?
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we'll say tailgating, very fun. Tossing football around, fun. Shout out to Ashton, my brother. We were playing cornhole or bags, or whatever you want to call it. I call it bags, but he actually made all 4 bags in one round or whatever you want to call it. So we have a little thing where if you make all 4 bags, then you get to sign the board, whatever one you make it in. Oh, cool. So he gets to join Colton Wiley as the only other person to make 4 in a row. So that was pretty fun. And the thing is, if my Uncle Brian he either put one in the hole or he put one on the board, or if he hadn't done that, the one that Ashton made at the end would have won the game.
Oh no!
Like on a 4-bagger, but I think we ended up winning anyway.
That would have been a sweet way to win it.
I know, that would have been a boss walk off. So shout out to Ashton.
Nice.
So that part was fun.
And people thought that the McConnells didn't have any athleticism. Look at that. You got Austin can piss pound a golf ball. Ashton sounds like a superb cornhole player, and Andy is a good podcaster
and video game extraordinaire.
Didn't you lose in the national championship last season?
You know, I had this in my mind, and as soon as the words left my mouth, it's like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. So Yeah, so back to the game. It was good for probably 7 snaps.
Okay.
When the heck did it get out of hand? So, if I remember right, I can't remember if South Dakota State scored right away or if UNI forced a punt. I gotta go look at the box score quick. Because then, whenever UNI did force a punt, they fumbled said punt, but recovered the punt. And then 2 plays later, like 2-3 plays later, the running back tried to stretch, try to gain a couple more extra yards, and the ball got punched out.
Ooh.
And so that worked out good. South Dakota State scored the next drive. And then, let's see, I got the play-by-play up, so this should be fun. Yeah. So, UNI forced a punt right away. Then they fumbled. Then South Dakota State scored. They're traded punts. UNI threw a pick. Then South Dakota State got a field goal. And then we got to the point that made my blood boil. Honestly, this almost happened roughly, not quite simultaneously, probably about 10 minutes after a similar thing-ish happened in Columbus, Ohio. And it leads, Cody, to my Pest of the Week.
All right. Andy's Pest of the Week is brought to you by Decor Pest Control. Decor Pest Control specializes in residential and commercial pest control, where he treats for earwigs, cockroaches, ants, bed bugs, bees, fleas, box elder bugs, mice, rats, and he offers monthly and quarterly services, and he also does termite inspections.
Ooh.
Call Decor Pest Control at 563-419-3251 and tell them the boys at the Unrelated Sports Podcast sent you.
Okay, you ready for me to cook a little bit here?
Let's go.
Okay. So our Pest of the Week, it's coaches who fail to adapt with the times. Meaning Kirk Ferentz and Mark Farley, who both need to be fired or relieved of their duties. I don't care however you want to look at it. So we'll go to Columbus, Ohio first, when Iowa was playing Ohio State. I believe it was only like maybe, a 1 touchdown, 2 touchdown game.
Yeah,
Iowa has the ball midfield. They run a fake punt, and it works. Get a first down. However, some numbnut on the coaching staff decided, you know what? I'm going to call timeout right before we snap the ball. And so the first down was negated. I believe Iowa punted, and then it was just, game was over from there.
Yep. That was one. I mean, did Iowa have much of a chance? Probably not, but that sucked any momentum that they had at that point.
Yeah.
And momentum is huge in college football.
Yeah, here's the problem with Iowa. Partly with the adapting part. Well, they suck. They don't know what the forward pass is.
It's pathetic. It's
when
awful.
Kirk Ferentz is saying he's happy that he's seen improvement out of his 7th year transfer starting quarterback, we have problems.
Yep.
So that's number one. Oh, good.
Sullivan, I don't think is the answer, but
no, he can move at least a little bit.
Something. At least he's a spark.
Yeah.
He's the only person to have scored against a
ranked team
rated
in 2
opponent.
Years.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so bad. It's so bad. But that's number one. Number two comes about 10 minutes later to the game I was at, where UNI is facing a 4th and 6 at South Dakota State's 38-yard line. They're down 10-0 right now. So down 2 scores to the number 1 team in the country. They line up to punt, which that's mistake number 1. Because more than likely, especially with college punters, what's going to happen, Cody? 9 times out of 10, like if you actually punt the ball, where's the ball going to land?
In the end zone. So
that would have been a net of 18 yards, which would have been atrocious. Unfortunately, UNI they have a new kicker this year. He's not their old kicker, Matthew Cook, so he doesn't quite have the leg or the accuracy that Matthew does. So that's why they couldn't kick the field goal. But regardless, it's 4th and 6 from the 38. Mark Farley calls timeout. So I'm thinking in my mind, cool, he's actually not going to punt. He's going to go for it, because why not?
Right. You're down to the number 1 team. Nobody is expecting you to win.
Yep.
Play to win the game.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep. And you've already had 2 turnovers. So it's like, well, you've already kind of used like half of your 9 lives already, if not most of them.
Yep.
But then UNI trots out the punt team again.
After timeout.
after a timeout.
So stupid.
Yes, because honestly, you would rather take like a delay game or take a penalty. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you and I only had 10 men on the field. That part I don't know. But regardless, you probably take the penalty there, and that way you give your punter more room if you are going to punt.
Yeah.
Not saying I agree with it. But what happens is they decide to punt, and the punt gets blocked in return for a touchdown. Oh my gosh.
Yep, that'll upset a person or two.
That was bad. And then the next possession, UNI fumbles. South Dakota State scores again. It's 24-0, and it is it's all bad. It's all really bad. Where UNI at least got it 41-3. It was 27-3. It was 27-3 at halftime. Or actually, sorry, I think the final score might have been. Okay, yeah, this is all kind of wonky of how they have it. But yeah, it was 27-3 at halftime. UNI comes out of halftime and throws a pick on their opening drive, which South Dakota State scores 3 plays later, and then that's when we left. It was 31-3, and it looked just like it was over from there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I am captain, don't leave a game early, but that's when like I think that they actually have a chance to come back, and there was no freaking chance they were going to come back.
Do you believe in miracles?
Later on in this podcast, I might, but as of this game, no. And with the way that the UNI football team has been coached for the last umpteen years, no. Like by one of the end zones in the Unidome, they have playoff appearances and conference championships. UNI has not won a conference championship since 2011.
Wow.
And that's when they used to win it like every other year.
Yeah, they used to be a powerhouse.
They were. And that's also then, that coincides with when North Dakota State and South Dakota State started to mostly North Dakota State started to make their way up. And then South Dakota State made their way up, while UNI is just kind of maybe angling down a bit. And that's not good.
Right.
It's like, it's like cool, they're fighting for a playoff berth maybe every other year or whatever, but it's like Iowa, how they're fighting for maybe a playoff spot or a big bowl every other year or whatever, every 3 years when they're getting like 6, 7, 8 wins. It's like
they're having they're hoping for a 10 win season every 5-6 years.
Yeah. And that's
I've said it many a times. If schools like Wisconsin and Michigan State can compete for these bowls, or compete and be a powerhouse. Maybe not as much as they were, but like Michigan, yes, is a bigger name, and Ohio State is a bigger name. I get that they're going to be ahead of us in a lot of things, but if Iowa State is right now competing, they're ranked 12?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know what they're up to yet.
I think Notre Dame is 11. I think they're 12, which should be reversed. Indiana is.
That's what I was gonna say. What name is on my shirt here?
Stupid.
It's 6-0 and bowl eligible, but yes.
If these teams can compete, there's no reason. Iowa has a lot of prestige. Like, people know Iowa. Tight end university. That's recognition.
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything with it.
No. And it's when you continue, like in Iowa's case, you continually have incompetent quarterback play. It's just it doesn't matter how good your defense is or special teams are, which they've taken a drop this year compared to the last couple years.
But their defense is still good. And you know what? Yeah. It might be great if their offense could stay on the field.
Yeah, sustain a drive or 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Not asking for a lot.
It wouldn't take a lot for Iowa to take a 3 steps up, like their defense is always Phil Parker is good enough to keep that defense legit contenders every year. Their offensive coordinators and head coach do not keep them offensively in games. Mic's off.
Yeah, I must have bumped something. I mean, for years they basically been a poor man's Georgia. Where I mean, Georgia's offense hasn't been great by any stretch of the imagination, but their defense has been insane. Where Iowa's defense has been really good, and their offense has been absolutely poor. So if they
Abysmal.
can, so if they can at least get beat an average Joe's Georgia, where you have a really good defense and then a competent offense. I mean, it worked for
They're
Michigan.
competing for they're competing for Big 12 or Big 12, Big 10 titles.
Yeah,
Like,
but now
yes,
you're not
we
going to
made
do
it.
that now.
No, no. And yes, we made it to Big 10 championship games multiple times, but they were pitiful
And that was also when
attempts.
The Big Ten West was still alive. It's dead now
Yeah,
due to conference
it was
realignment.
awful too.
Yeah, when you basically had to just make sure you beat Minnesota, Wisconsin, hopefully, and then just don't choke against Northwestern and Purdue and Illinois, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Iowa had to backdoor their way into a couple of those. So,
like last year.
yeah.
And
At least last year's wasn't as pitiful as, what was it, 3 years ago against Michigan?
Yeah.
That was
where they just
disgusting.
got ran out of the building. Yeah. I think that's actually when JJ McCarthy made like his kind of rise or his introduction to the world, if I remember it. When somebody was Michigan's starting quarterback at the time. Who in the heck was Oh, it was Iowa's starting quarterback, Kate McNamara. That's who it was. So, yeah. I just say fire everybody. It's time. It's just force them out the door. Give them a good severance package if you want. It's just time.
Yep. Time to adapt. I think there'd be a good coach in Illinois that might come to Iowa, be decent at Iowa.
Oh, does he have like the tiger hawk tattooed on his like calf?
He might.
Okay.
He might be a very good candidate to replace the old.
Yeah. Hire Brent Bielema. Oh, that would be freaking awesome.
That'd be awesome, man. He owns Penn State.
And he's a Big Ten coach. Like he might not be good in the SEC because I mean he's tried that. But
Don't care.
He lives and breathes Big Ten football.
Yep.
Now one other thing about Iowa though, they did lose a couple guys due to this NIL red shirt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stupid stuff. And Caleb Brown and LaShawn Williams. Which the one thing I can understand, if you know you're part of a pitiful offense and you're not getting used right, or it's just not helping your stock at all, why? I mean, I can kind of understand that. Like, why?
I can too, and like LaShawn, he went from being their number one back to number 4, number 3. Like he's not a feature back anymore. Like he was Iowa's number 1 weapon last year, but it is what it is. It's I still hate it. I hate the fact that Caleb Brown transferred in and transferred out.
Yep.
Playing next to none.
Yeah. Well, at least he attempted to, unlike some Alabama tackle.
Yeah.
Which, hey,
speaking of Alabama.
Speaking of the Tide.
How are they doing? How are things going? How are things going in Alabama?
I wonder where the goalpost ended up at.
Well, in the bottom of the lake or river or whatever it was.
So I just wonder if it ever surfaced or if it just kept rolling down the river or whatever.
Down the streets of Nashville.
Yep, down Broadway after the Vanderbilt Commodores, Jay Cutler's alma mater. Somehow, some way
that Nick Saban said is easy to play at.
Yeah,
the easiest place in the SEC to play.
Well, he must not have factored in all the construction noise because that must have been why Alabama struggled because they're still working on that stadium. But Vanderbilt put up 40 on Bama.
Yes.
And knocked off the number 1 team in the country after somehow they should have been at number 1 anyway, but that's a different discussion for another day.
True. It was a fantastic game. And the quarterback that like nobody wanted.
Showed some moxie at the end too.
Oh my god, he was a stud. Great story. He's cousins with a guy I've talked about before, Real Woods, Hawkeye wrestler. Um, Dude had some swagger, and he pulled like the option, and some of those passes, especially those last drive or two, he threaded the needle.
Well,
There's
even the
one I
run
felt
that
like
he
for
had at the
sure
end,
picked up. Oh,
like the game clincher was. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
yeah,
So
it was always
shout out to
fun
the
watching the Tide go down.
yeah, shout especially to Vanderbilt of all teams
Yes.
that go down to Vandy.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Two
then
and
yeah,
two, Vandy. 3-2
and then the
now.
students lug the goalposts all the way 3 mile walk down Broadway or Broadway.
Sweet.
I
They
just
don't know
kept
what to
watching
do with
all the
themselves.
no. I just kept watching all the photos and the videos just surfacing from that. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're still going.
People had some fun with that one for sure.
And that wasn't even that was the biggest upset of the day, but it wasn't the only upset, especially in the SEC.
Yeah.
Tennessee, who I thought is probably the second best team in the country, went down to Arkansas.
Yep.
And
Razorbacks.
Tennessee's quarterback didn't have good situational awareness at the end of the game because on a 4th down play, he ran past the line of scrimmage as time expired and then ran out of bounds instead of just chucking it into the end zone from like the 20-yard line.
Yep. Yeah, that's a stupid play by him. I think the coaches should have maybe gone through some scenarios with him beforehand, but that's for another day.
Yeah, they said Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head coach, he definitely got outcoached.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I thought there was going to be a huge upset.
I know. I went to bed.
Yeah,
thinking there was going to be.
See, Andy, there's always a chance.
Oh, I know, but it was at that point. I wanted to make sure I went to bed in time, so I was up in time for the NFL game.
Yeah, I got you, but I'm just making fun of the fact that you left the UNI game. I'm not going to let that go, especially after you chastised Ray for it.
I did.
And now you made him the Pest of the week.
I did. I'm still standing by that. I wasn't directly him. It was people like him. It was people like him.
But
it was not
that's people like you now.
Yeah, so I can be my own Pest of the week.
But yeah, what was the game we were talking about?
Miami and Cal. Were game day. Hey, one thing, quick. It's amazing what happens when college game day goes to someplace outside their normal, like, 3-team, 4-team bubble. You go to these schools where maybe you've never been to or you haven't been in a long, long time, and my gosh, the fans show up.
They do. That was a sweet atmosphere.
You had Marshawn Lynch there, too, which I didn't get to see any of that part, but, I can only imagine how nuts that was. Especially him and Pat.
He's a character.
But, yeah, Miami is down 20, what was it, 25?
Yep. It was...
And down 18 with 10 minutes left.
18 in late in the fourth, middle of the fourth, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah,
stormed back to win 39-38.
Yep. Heisman, I don't want to say front runner. I'll say Heisman hopeful Cam Ward. I think he had. I don't know what his stat line is, but he helped engineer the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, what people are going to remember are the wins and losses, and that's a pretty big win on your record. To be down like they were. I mean, obviously, I follow a lot of Miami beat writers and stuff on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, because Miami Dolphins are there and University of Miami, obviously, and I mean, you would have thought the sky was falling, and then sunshine.
Yeah, well, I can't believe they came back. I really can't believe they came back and won. I woke up and I looked at my phone, and that was one of the first notifications I saw, and it's like, no way.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then
I was kind of in and out of that game. But it was.
Yeah, I was flipping back and forth between that and I think it was the Dodgers-Padres game 1 on Saturday night. But between that, Missouri got boat raced by Texas A&M, like absolutely throttled.
Yeah, wasn't Missouri ranked like number 6?
9.
Okay.
9, and it was bad. It was really bad. And then Michigan got beat at Washington. by 10 in a national championship rematch, if you want to call it that. You know that like both teams are completely different.
Yeah. So for like a weekend that wasn't supposed to be that good of college football, really,
Mm-hmm.
it ended up being a fantastic weekend of college football.
But that's normally what happens, though. I mean,
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, these next few weekends on paper look like they're going to be awesome, just with
Yeah.
all the ranked matchups and stuff. But usually it's always the ones where you don't have any head to head games, and that's where it's just upsets galore. You always have one upset Saturday. I mean, Minnesota beat USC, and I'd probably say PJ Fleck's job for the next 7 years
Yeah.
because they finally beat a ranked team. And a legit win. It wasn't because of any fair catch BS or anything like that, but
Not a fair catch.
that's true. But when somebody says that they don't watch or don't love college football, I don't get it. Why? The sport
There's
is
something
awesome.
about it. I don't watch it as much as I do NFL because of work schedule, but God, it's fun.
Now one thing, and you have this in our notes. What is this about the Arch Manning Quinn Ewers fake drama for the Red River rivalry coming up this
Well,
weekend?
yeah. So I saw a couple articles about like what's next for Arch Manning because of the fact that like he's not going to get any playing time now, and he's the backup quarterback. They're trying to make something out of it because he's like this big name that he's. Well, what's next for him? Is he going to go somewhere else because he's not getting like is it? He knew going into the season he was their backup. He was going to get some playing time because there's going to be some times that Ewers is hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and there'll be times that they're up big or whatever. But he knew what he was getting into. They try to make some drama out of it to make it like seem like he's ready to leave at the because there's so many players that do that now that just leave at the first
Yep.
piece of resistance. But he knew that Quinn Ewers that was the plan all along. Was last week Quinn Ewers they said was probably okay to go, but they wanted to give him that extra week to make sure that he was ready for the Red River rivalry, and it's here.
Yep.
The Texas State Fair, baby.
Well, and then I mean
Halfway.
you have that game this week, Texas Georgia next week.
Yeah.
Also, side note, Indiana plays Nebraska next week, so that's actually
Nice.
Fox's big new kickoff game.
That'll be a good game.
I know, and I think Indiana might actually be favored. Would never guess that in a million years. Like if you had told me that 10 years ago, but we'll take it.
Just seeing Indiana favored in a game, I wouldn't have believed you 10 years ago.
We
Against
might have been
anybody.
we might have been favored against an FCS school or two. You never know.
I
Okay,
would
probably
not
Yeah.
have if you bet on North Dakota State playing Indiana
North
10
Dakota State would have been
times,
favored. Yeah,
I would give Indiana 2 of them.
I'd give them one, if that.
Yeah. Not this year though. They're looking
No,
tough.
we are good. We are
They're
good.
looking tough.
So you ready to dive into the NFL ranks now?
Yep.
Are you guys okay? So we'll start off with Thursday night's game because Kirko chains Mr. 509 yards, I believe.
On Matt Ryan night, breaks Matt Ryan's passing record.
Such a nice guy. Such a nice guy right there. I don't know how they won that game. I mean, I know how because Tampa had a big turnover and they also had a big penalty late, which stopped the clock. But there's not one point during that game where I thought they were in trouble. Like Baker played great. I don't think he did anything bad.
I don't think that loss is on Baker. It's going to go down on him, but
yeah. But I mean, Kirk Cousins and Drake London balled out. Kyle Pitts was actually even thrown the ball a couple times, so he's alive. So
I did see that he is still on the team.
I mean, Younghoe Koo even missed a couple kicks and they still won in overtime.
And then he made it when it counted.
Yeah, but yeah, what a crazy game. I still think Tampa's a better team overall. Just in my personal opinion, but kudos to Atlanta. Kirk actually looks healthy.
Looking good. He's looking pretty good there, actually.
So, you know who's not looking good? We're going to the London game now because somebody's unemployed.
Yeah. Not who I had as my first coach fired this year, but down goes Robert Saleh,
Yeah, got S
head
not
coach of
and
the
it's out. Oh, good.
ex-head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah. Well, and he got escorted out of the Jets facility. Not, I mean, willingly. Like it wasn't. I think people tried to make it a bigger deal than it was. I think security has to,
Yeah.
um, yeah, escort you out and whatnot. But yeah, I don't think he was the reason his team had 3 turnovers against the Vikings and only lost by what 6. I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was his fault.
Dude has some stout defenses.
Yeah. However, I think the real guy, the real person that actually fired him, it might be the reason that they lost, and that's Aaron. Not my problem anymore.
Yeah.
But that's Aaron.
He's a problem.
Yeah, that might be getting Devontae Adams though, so it might put a little band-aid on the like gaping hole in the Titanic, but it might put a little band-aid on there.
Yeah, that's really going to help their offensive line. Getting Devontae Adams is really going to help Rodgers not get hit.
Yeah, because I mean, he hurt I think he had a low ankle sprain, is what they called it.
Yeah,
He
that
did
was
get twisted up a
crazy.
couple times.
He was screaming in pain, and he was right back out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's when I think the Jets forced a turnover or something along that. There's something like that where they basically went right on the field because Sam Darnold didn't look good. He kind of looked like old Sam Darnold a little bit. Now he was getting beat up too, a lot.
Yeah.
But hey, Vikings won 5-0. Kudos to them. That pains me to say, but kudos to them.
Yeah, it's something.
So, who's the new Jets head coach? Or I know who their interim head coach is. It's their current D coordinator. Who takes that job then?
Who wants that job?
Does McCarthy take it after he gets fired by Dallas?
I know you've said Gruden looking at it, but I don't think that's there's too much media in New York.
Yeah, but those two together would be gold. That would be gold.
Who?
Gruden and Rodgers.
Oh, you think whoever's Rodgers is going to get somebody else fired? I mean, it's just.
Yeah. I mean, I've thrown around the Belichick name because I just think it'd be funny.
It would be just because he has coached for the Jets before, but
for like a day. But I don't know. Maybe they go with Nathaniel Hackett if they don't fire him because somebody really didn't want him fired at all.
Yeah.
Or maybe Rodgers goes the whole player coach route.
Mean machine.
That's what I was thinking. It goes all Burt Reynolds from Long's Yard. But yeah, it's a mess. I'm glad it's not my mess anymore.
Right? He's a cancer.
Yeah, it's not good. But don't worry, he'll be on Pat McAfee's show Wednesday. Usually he's on Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, but he'll be on tomorrow. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's something.
So moving on from that train wreck. Hey, your team actually won.
Yeah, Dolphins stuck with the run game and pulled out a very ugly win against the Patriots, but a division win nonetheless. So Huntley looked better, still not great, but the running game looked pretty mean. Mostert makes a big difference. Got a fullback tutty. Alec Ingold.
Oh, we also had a fullback tutty in London too, so with CJ Ham.
Yep.
So,
the thing is, I was reading a stat today with Alec Ingold on the field. The Dolphins were averaging like 5.3 yards a run. Without him, they were averaging about 3.2.
It's almost like fullbacks are important
For aggressive or like for run heavy offenses, they sure are.
Yeah. Well, when teams want to run the football,
Yeah,
because let's see, the Dolphins don't, the Niners don't
usually
in
don't.
close games, the Packers sometimes don't. Everything's great.
The Rams,
Yeah.
there's
Is
like
that
a
in a theme?
coaching tree there.
Huh. Man, what a coincidence.
Yes,
Um.
yes.
So, so you know how we were talking about we didn't think Saleh was going to be the first head coach fired this year. Well, I thought it was going to be Sean
So
McDermott, and we might still be trying. Well, not necessarily being the first, but the wheels are starting to fall off the wagon of the
yeah,
Bills.
they
As soon
are.
as
They definitely
as soon as
are.
we give them credit, it starts going downhill.
Um, yeah. Is it this Thursday? Is the Jets and the
Monday night.
Monday night? Okay, so the
Oh
two
my
teams coming
gosh.
off of two losses in a row. Two teams that are
Yeah.
reeling. One's without a head coach or with an interim head coach, and the other has a quarterback that I think has been concussed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the quarterback that also only threw for 30%, completed 30% of his passes this past weekend. But yeah,
Yeah,
do you have any words on the Josh Allen potential concussion at all?
I I feel for. So I love Josh Allen, even though
Yep.
he's a quarterback. Um, it pisses me off the way that they're reacting to his compared to Tua's, because he got knocked out cold and they gave him smelling salts and they said it was a ankle injury or some crap.
Yeah.
Do they think we're stupid? Like, he
Yes.
was unconscious. His head bounced off. If that would have been Tua, you'd have been hearing about how he should retire. And then the week before, previous week, it looked like he might have had concussion too. I don't care what the protocol says, because you don't care with the Tua. Like, there's been times that he came out and like he looked fine for a second. Talked to him a few days later. He didn't know where he was. He doesn't remember any of that. So the
Hmm.
concussion protocol isn't working. If you can see a guy get knocked out, pull him out. If you're going to be pretending like you give a crap about certain players, give a crap about them all.
I know. Yeah, especially player
Double
safety,
standard.
which is I know
It's
it is.
it's because, and I stand firmly behind this. I think that one, Tua is a smaller stature quarterback, so they pay more attention to everything that happens, and two, it happened on prime time, so they knew more people were watching, so they pretended to give a crap. Josh Allen gets knocked unconscious. He doesn't have the hand seizure thing going on, but
Hmm.
he was knocked out cold and nothing. He was in the next series.
Yep.
Bull.
Yep. I believe we did get a Mitch Trubisky sighting though, for
We
briefly.
did.
So, and then then the Bills had awful. I guess kind of awful clock time management at the end. They have the ball inside their own 5 with 30 seconds left, and they decide to throw it all 3 downs, which I understand what they're saying, but I think Houston still had all 3 timeouts left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you play to win the game, right? As we said earlier. But, I mean, the strategy backfires. They have a short punt. Houston gets the ball like the 40, or maybe not the 40, the 45, run a quick slant, and then they're able to call timeout, and then Kyrie Fairbairn drills a 59-yarder for the win.
Dude, the amount of long field goals happening this year is just crazy.
Well, I mean, did you see the one that Justin Tucker kicked to tie the game against Cincinnati?
Yeah. I don't know, how many yards was it?
I think it was above 50, like maybe 53.
Yeah. It wasn't his longest by any means, but he's got the longest. But
Oh, sorry, 56. So it was long. It was still pretty long.
I mean, 50. Yeah, and anything over 50 is still a really good feat. It's
Yeah.
becoming more second nature in the NFL, but they're impressive.
So, and speaking of Baltimore, they have a big win, in Cincinnati. Um, is Lamar like
Overtime.
kind of creeping his way into the MVP
Oh yeah,
talk? I
he's
know we're only in week 5, but it just feels like has to be asked.
um. It's gonna be a roller coaster of a year, but it's like you said, Darnold was up in there. He's kind
Hmm.
he fell off a little bit this week. They still won.
Yep.
Um,
Allen's
Who
fallen off
else
the
would
last
you?
couple weeks.
Um, yeah, Allen definitely. He was number one. I think he's not. I think maybe a quarterback in Washington might be up in the top
Yeah,
of that.
what a big boy performance from Jane Daniels and the Commanders. I mean,
And
don't get me wrong.
the
Oh, good.
ability to scramble and continue to look downfield and make throws,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of like rookies, especially, they get in that scramble and they just run. He kept
Yep.
his eyes downfield and threw dimes.
Yeah, that he's kind of good. He's kind of
Yeah,
good. And I mean, the Commanders are 4-1. It's
he
insane.
has changed the trajectory of that franchise overnight.
But
It's reminding
go
me
ahead.
of a
CJ
young man
Stroud.
from Baylor
Oh,
coming into that same organization.
Robert Griffin the third. That guy.
That one.
That one.
But yes, also CJ Stroud of last year.
Hey, Baltimore plays Washington this weekend. I think it's
Ooh.
in Baltimore. Ooh, that's gonna be a good game. That'll be a good litmus test for both teams to kind of see if if the Ravens can like actually beat the brakes off of a team, and two, to see if Washington is ready for prime time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's not in prime time, but you know what I mean.
Big game. Um
Yeah.
big travel distance there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you just take a? They just take a bus then? I'm assuming.
They have to, like, it can't be a long.
Yeah.
I'd assume it'd be a bus. Not the John Madden type bus. It'd be.
Oh, the Madden bus. Hey, I will say too, and I hate that I have to do this again, but Caleb Williams played good. It was against the Panthers, so you maybe throw a little bit of an asterisk on it, but he played good. He
He
played really
did.
well. Like the I think it was one of the I can't remember how many touchdowns he threw to DJ Moore, but there was one kind of deep ball that he threw that he kept it on the inside of the defender than the outside, and I was like, okay, that was nice. That was a nice throw.
He's had he's got some arm talent. I might like him more if I didn't have to listen to if I hadn't listened to Chris Collinsworth talk about him. That really ruined
Yeah,
him for me.
yeah, but I mean, he had the greatest incompletion of all time. He had the
Yeah.
greatest opening throw of all time.
No. We didn't. We I know the Commanders we talked about. They're 4-1. They beat the pants off the Browns, who are back to Browning. Like, they are a dumpster fire. Deshaun Watson, like, he's trash.
I don't know what you do. Like, can they just bench him? I don't think the owner or the GM wants to bench him. I think it's the owner, but like, I don't. Stefanski's hands are tied. He can't do anything right now.
Yeah, yeah.
At least you're getting Nick
It's
Chubb
bad
back
though.
soon, I think. Which, if you're Nick Chubb, do you really want to come back right now?
Yeah, I might be faking a hammy.
Yeah, I think I would too. But yeah, this is honestly drifting now to being one of the worst, if not the worst, trade in NFL history. It's so
Yeah,
bad.
it's not looking good.
No, yeah. I mean, I kept thinking maybe as early on in the season, or before the season, that Deshaun would slowly maybe morph back into Houston Deshaun, like playing style wise, and that just
There's been like flashes of it, I guess, but
yeah,
then it crashes down.
yeah. It's just like one or two quick flashes, and yeah, that's it. Hey, by the way, the Sunshine Train, we roll on. We're not off the tracks yet.
They did get a big dub.
Over Joe Flacco, who Flacco played really good. I'll give him credit.
Actually, yeah, he did. Um, Not good enough to win, I guess. But
Nope, nope. Jags' first win in like I don't know, almost a year. Probably, I think it's like 14
but
weeks.
well, probably since the last time that the Colts came to Jacksonville, it's
That's
been
true.
like 10 years since
Oh my
the
gosh,
yeah the Colts have not beaten Jacksonville in Jacksonville in like a decade.
that's insane. Like basically, so since Peyton left town, or since Andrew Luck left town,
Yeah.
that's about it. Hey, We talked about your team winning. My team also won, and Jordan Love made a throw that I said no, 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 yes.
Yes. Triple
And then he
coverage.
also made, and then he also made one throw that was just like, oh no, 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 and it was like Will Levis. It looked bad, but no,
Love giveth, love taketh.
the bomb that he unloaded in the triple coverage to Jaden Reed and it worked.
Um,
He really is Brett Favre. Hopefully, minus the off the field stuff. But
allegations.
yeah,
Can't wait to see him in Minnesota. Um,
that's right. I've already mentally prepared myself for that, so don't you worry.
do you have a Jets jersey for your dad for him yet?
Now I'm going to work on that. I got 15 years to plan this out.
That's also very true.
Yeah, I was just happy my team won. It was good.
Yeah, it's definitely a better weekend when the Dolphins win. For me, it just makes it a lot more bearable. The Broncos. I mean, I think Patrick Surtain had 2 picks to kind
They're
of
saying
win that game.
he's starting to build like a Darrell Revis type rep. Like you don't like best corner in the game. Don't throw at him at all.
Yeah, he's becoming an island.
Yeah,
I loved
which is
his
good.
dad. His dad was one of my all-time favorite Dolphins.
I love those Broncos unis too.
Yeah,
They
I
need
did
to
not
just
like
wear
Houston's.
those. Yeah, see, okay, thank you. I saw some people actually liked him. It's like,
I
oh,
did not.
those looked awful. And like
They
the
weren't good.
H logo, I don't get teams. I don't get why mess with a thing that isn't broken. And then I guess so. The rest of the afternoon slate was back to back upsets. Arizona
Yeah,
goes into San Fran and wins.
yeah, late. Like they stormed back.
Did you see that Kyler Murray got a Call of Duty sponsorship now?
That's sweet.
It
That is
actually
really
is.
cool.
Yeah, he said he listened to all the jokes and everything, and it's like, jokes on all you guys.
I got paid.
So yeah, good for him.
The Giants over the Seahawks.
How? I really don't. I don't get it. It's like Daniel Jones just trying to save his job. Does he like do this every other year now, where he's just going to be a good quarterback or a competent quarterback?
But
Probably
it's
not.
not
But
every other year. It's like once every 3 or 4 weeks.
that's true. That is true. I mean, the Giants. I think it was Isaiah Simmons. Had a perfect leap over the long snapper and then blocked a field goal, and then they returned it for a touchdown instead of which was going to be the game tying field goal from Jason Myers. So yeah, I mean, I was happy to see the Seahawks get beat because that just helps out Green Bay and the. If I'm just looking about seeding and just trying to get into the big dance in general, but
You don't think the
and then
Giants can do it?
no, I don't. I really don't. They're the Giants. I have no faith in them at all.
Fair.
Now, I believe they're calling what Sunday the longest night of football ever,
Yeah.
or day of football ever. Did you stay awake the whole Pittsburgh Dallas game?
Did I stay awake the whole game? No. Did I wake up in time to see the ending? Yes.
Same here, because I fell
So
asleep briefly for like a series or two in the fourth quarter.
I maybe stayed awake, or I was maybe up for the last drive.
Yeah, George Pickens, he's a problem in Pittsburgh, and not in a good way. He's a bit of a head case.
Yeah, they've run into that before. They've had their share of head case wide receivers.
Huh? Who's that?
You want how far back do you want to go? Do you want to go Mike Wallace? Do you want to go?
Oh, I remember the Mike Wallace days.
Yeah.
Hey, Antoine Randall was never a head case. He's my boy. Lions wide receivers coach too, which that part stains. But I was thinking more of like a guy whose business is always booming.
Yeah.
He might be like a nutcase on Twitter right now. I don't know.
AB, he's out there, but like Smith Schuster was a little bit of a head case there too, but
that's true.
Not so
now
much
he's
in
thriving.
KC.
Now he's thriving in Kansas City, and then I've heard that there's a chance they might start Russ. I don't know why. He can practice now. Oh, Mike Tomlin, don't do that. You don't do that. You might actually get fired. I know Pittsburgh doesn't fire coaches, but you might actually get fired.
Yeah. Russell. Unless Russell has changed a lot, I would not play him.
Yeah. And then, I mean, kudos to Dallas.
What do they have to play for?
Oh, good.
What do they have?
What were we going to say?
What are they going to do different with Russell? They're probably taking away some abilities.
They're going to clap really loud, and Russ is going to give... I don't know what his little spiel is going to be at any of the press conferences, but like, Steelers country, let's steal. Maybe, I don't know, or let's weld. I don't know. Was it Michelle Tafoya actually said it on air what his catchphrase is going to be, but it didn't sound good? I guess I can't remember who said that. If somebody did. But, yeah, I don't know how Dallas won the game either. They tried to give it away. They tried to fumble right at the 1 yard line. And then Dak finds Jalen, I think it was Jaden Tolbert for the game-winning touchdown.
Was there a little bit of beef between CeeDee Lamb and...
Yes.
And him, like, because I don't remember seeing after the beef. Like I will say, I fell asleep for a bit. I did not see the ball go towards CeeDee Lamb again.
Yeah, CD can be a head case. He can be a really he can be like a really diva wide receiver. It's not pretty to watch. But yeah, I don't know. Dallas still won the game though. Yeah, it's not like they have their owner landing this helicopter in the middle of practice or anything.
Yeah, and they're a weird organization. Yeah. At least they didn't pay CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott a lot of money to not get along.
Yeah, that's... Oh, wait, they did. They
did a lot.
So, we go from one incompetent organization. Should we go to probably the most competent right now? For Monday night?
Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints.
But obviously. Actually, is Carr out for any time? I didn't...
Yeah, it's multiple weeks, they said, with an oblique injury.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Is Taysom Hill going to be coming back?
I don't know, because he's hurt too right now.
I said coming back.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in a little bit of trouble. But that Mahomes guy, that guy,
he can still sling it. Even his bad games are still good.
Like his escapability last night was awesome. It was like Houdini-esque.
Yeah,
he
does some weird things, man.
4. That's how many times I counted Taylor Swift on the TV. I think that was the final count. It was only 4.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, that wasn't too bad. Because Travis Kelce did have a really good game too. He looked really good.
Yep.
Do you know that him and Gronk are the same age?
Did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
Little fun fact for you. But yeah, the champs are they're still the champs. Harrison Butker missed a kick.
They dominated that game and still they won by 13.
Yeah, only won by 13. I think honestly, if Carr was still in the game late, I think they would have probably tried to actually score a touchdown at the end. But whoever the Saints' backup is, I don't think they're really too concerned at all.
But what is up with KC? Obviously, they're it right now. They're struggling in the red zone though.
Yeah, which is weird because that's like Andy Reid's staple.
Yeah,
like it's his bread and butter. Like I will say though,
other than his actual love of bread and butter,
that is true. But that pick that Mahomes threw, that wasn't really his fault because it went off of Juju's hands. And then, of all guys to intercept the pass, it's the brother of one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers.
That's funny.
And that was a big man who was rubbling, had the whole high and tight, ball security and everything.
I saw a video of him doing some backflips and stuff.
My gosh,
he looked like
that was pretty
out there.
That was pretty sweet to watch.
Yeah,
but yeah, again, the champs, they're still the champs.
Yeah,
we're just waiting. Yeah, we're just waiting until January, then they'll finally start carrying.
Yep.
So that's all the NFL recap. You have anything else NFL wide, like any news or notes? I mean, Devontae Adams still hasn't been traded yet,
No.
so
So what did you do? Oh yeah, Drake May announced as the
yeah, Patriots starter against, and they play Houston, who just had 7 sacks over the weekend.
and
Oh,
their offensive line not great.
yeah, that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well at all. But good luck, Drake May. Just don't die.
Yeah.
So, you ready? Do you want to make some picks? I know I'm behind. I'm behind 5, but I'm sensing a comeback.
5? I thought it was 6.
It's a number. It's up there. I will. Hey,
I believe
we're
it's
only in
6.
October. We are only in October.
You were down 4, and then you went down another 2. And by my math, that's 6.
If only Atlanta would have lost, I would have made up at least a game, but they didn't. Or if Pittsburgh wouldn't have choked at the end, I would have made up another game, but
You're
they
down.
didn't.
You're down 5 in the
Oh, before the season
preseason
started.
ones. Yep.
That's right. I'm just giving you a little head start. That's it.
No, whatever helps you sleep, man.
Good. Okay, so
Yes.
our pick segment is brought to you by the boys at Zip and Zoobs Detailing. The Zip and Zoobs Detailing office offers a cleaning service for your vehicle, whether it be your car, your truck, any equipment you may have. The boys do a good job. So give them a call at 563-380-9772.
Heck yeah, I might have to do that sometime.
I know, I think I do too. My car was actually getting kind of dirty. I ran through the car wash today just because there's some bird poop on it. Probably need to get that off.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Thanks, Cody. Okay, so, hey, believe it or not, we actually have another good Thursday night game to start off this week.
Interesting. We do.
Niners Seahawks. Who you got?
I am taking the 49ers.
If the Seahawks had lost to the Giants, I would pick them, but I can't pick against the Niners.
It's tough.
Brock's still not playing bad.
Ooh. This is could be quarterback or should have been quarterback or should have been versus a might be quarterback battle, if you want to say.
A generational quarterback talent or matchup.
Should have and could have generational.
Yeah. Over in London.
So another long day of football.
Yep.
The Jags at the Bears. Who you got, Andy?
You know where I'm going. The train's still on the tracks. We're not off yet. We're taking the Jags.
I'm actually going to take the Jags myself. It could be strategy of just taking the same picks as you, so you can't the rest of the season all the way out.
I'm fine with that. See. I don't care.
Just get that one game lead and then just switch everything up to you.
And then I just changed all my stuff at the last minute.
Oh yeah. You know what? This is. You're gonna take the Cardinals. Yeah. You're gonna take the Cardinals. Okay.
Yeah. Last time the Cardinals played in Lambeau, they won.
Did they?
They did. That was Mike McCarthy's last game as head coach.
Okay.
Because then he got fired shortly after.
Cardinals at the Packers. Andy and I are both taking the Packers.
Go Packo. Ooh. Colts at the Titans?
I am taking the Colts.
Are they starting Flacco or are they starting Richardson?
Don't know.
Because, I mean, I guess Tennessee didn't look great against Miami. Miami just couldn't get anything going at all like a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, Miami just pissed poor.
Yeah, we'll go with Indy.
Houston. Oh wait, this is Houston at New England.
Houston.
Yep.
Bucks at the Saints.
As of right now, Derek Carr's out. I can't not take the Bucks.
You know me, I'm high on the Bucks, even after what happened last week.
Browns at Philadelphia. Earlier in the season, I might have been different on that, but
I'm going to go with Philly. Watch this be the one game Deshaun actually plays well. It's like the Baltimore game from last year.
yeah.
But I'm going to go with Philly.
I'm also
Ooh,
going with Philly.
okay. Potentially the best game of the weekend on paper.
Yeah.
Washington at Baltimore.
I'm going to go with Baltimore because of the fact that um, Lamar has only lost one NFC game ever
To Daniel Jones.
to Daniel Jones.
Great trivia question. I'm going to go Baltimore too, just because if you look at the opponents that Washington's beat, they haven't beat anybody actually good record wise if you really want to look at it. And again, I just want to see, are they ready for the big time?
Yeah.
I don't know if they quite are yet. And Baltimore's at home, and they should be undefeated. They really should.
Chargers at the Broncos. Chargers are coming off a bye week.
Broncos country, let's ride.
I hate to do this, but I took the Chargers.
Yeah,
I don't like
is
it.
is Herbert healthy? Is he going to be healthy? I don't know if he is
Not
or
sure.
not. But I don't know, that defense is just flying around so fast, and I mean Herbert can make mistakes. He's kind of can be turnover
He,
prone.
yes, he can be. I hope I'm wrong, honestly. We got Steelers at the Raiders.
The Raiders are a mess. Pittsburgh.
I'm also taking Pittsburgh.
Lions at the Cowboys.
I am gonna go the Lions.
MCDC and in Detroit get their revenge after last year's Dan Skipper was eligible, was not. They're gonna draw up something for that, right?
I
They
hope
might run
so.
that exact same play.
Um, what's the weather gonna be like there? Uh, uh,
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
okay, they both play in domes.
Yeah. Atlanta at Carolina.
The Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah. So we saw what Kirk Cousins did to a good defense in Tampa last week. What's he going to do to an absolutely atrocious defense?
Destruction. Actually,
Yeah.
he won't have to, so he won't. It won't be as bad.
He'll be like my games on NCAA football or on college football, where I just throw for one half and that's it.
Yeah.
Cody, why is this game Sunday night? Why are the Bengals and the Giants a Sunday night game?
Because I think we did something in a past life that makes us deserve to go through all this game.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go with the Giants.
Are you really?
Yes. I can't believe
All
I just
right.
uttered those words.
I am going Bengals. All right.
I can't believe I just said those words.
On Monday Night Football, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Rodgers.
Does he make it more than 4 plays?
I hope not. Can I root for Bane?
You're in for a tie.
Bane.
What's Bane?
It's in well, it's how you say bang, but Bane is a character from Batman, and he blows up a NFL stadium. I don't obviously wish for an NFL stadium to get blown up. I just don't like either of these teams at all. But I'm gonna be picking the Bills.
Give me the Jets. My word, I pick New York teams back to back. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't say I'd be surprised just because of the fact a lot of times they come in with an interim head coach and teams play really well for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. And Rodgers also plays good when he's ticked off like this.
I remember one time the Dolphins had a interim head coach, and they came out and won their first 3 games with him by blowouts. He was a really good coach. He was a former tight end in the NFL, played for the Giants. I think he's going to eventually make a good coach in the NFL. Maybe
Huh.
maybe go to NFC Championship and should have won one. I don't know.
Does he like kneecaps by chance?
He does not like kneecaps.
Oh, okay.
He wants to
He like.
destroy their kneecaps.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, that guy probably didn't make it at all
No,
with anything.
I was
Shout out
I
to
liked him so
shout out.
much. Dan
If he
Campbell.
was not in my division, I would love him. But he's in my division, so I have to hate him.
I understand.
Like it's just. I mean, he's made Detroit relevant.
I know. Something that nobody has ever been able to do. Barry Sanders barely did it.
Yeah. I mean, Megatron and Matt Stafford tried to do it.
Yeah. But he
So,
got
yeah.
Jared Goff to do it.
I got nothing. I got nothing on Jared Goff. So okay. Anything else NFL wise you want to talk about? Or I mean, I know we made our picks and everything, but
Uh, I'm I'm excited that the Dolphins have the weekend off and I don't really have to worry too bad this weekend. And just so everybody knows, I've been playing with my daughter's LOL toys brush. I always have a toy I'm playing with while I'm doing this. So today
I
I'm
was I
combing
was
my
wondering
hair.
what that was.
It looked like a thingamajig from Little Mermaid.
So that's why your hair looked all nice and pretty,
Yep, I've been
nice and
combing it.
party. So what should we get into our top five before we wrap all this
Well,
up?
yeah. This weekend there was a lot of them, especially in college football. And it made me not. And you know what? There was a lot of them, and there was a couple coaches that made us also upset.
Yeah, that's me. That made me
Andy was
very
very
upset.
upset.
Yes. So our top five this week is our top five favorite upsets. Which, before we get going, our top five is brought to you by Lick Tags Lawn Care, who specialize in complete lawn maintenance and health, snow and ice control, and small engine repairs. Cody, I think that white stuff's coming. It's coming. It's coming
It's
quick.
getting close. Even though like tomorrow's
But
supposed to be like 75.
I know it's weird. It's the Midwest. We're gonna get everything in about a week. It's just how it goes. But if you have any questions about your lawn or any potential like snow removal needs that you might have coming down the pipe, give the guys a call at 563-203-4238.
All right.
You want to lead us off?
Yeah. So my fifth favorite upset, I guess you would call it, would be 2018 Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles
Ooh,
over the Patriots. The Nick Foles Philly special. Give it to me over and over again.
You want to run Philly? Yeah. And then, I mean, then the touchdown they threw to Zach Ertz was nice. The dime that he threw to Corey Clement was insane. I mean, and they beat Tom Brady.
That was one of the most memorable Super Bowls I've ever watched, just because of the place that we went to watch it. Cass, you remember this? I know you do. Leave a comment about it, because we went to a friend's house and he didn't have TV, and we ended up finding like a Swedish version of it on like YouTube, and it didn't see any of the good commercial. It was just a weird night. Why does somebody that doesn't have TV have a Super Bowl party? I don't know.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, was this not thought of before or discussed beforehand?
I don't know, but it was memorable. I know Cass remembers this.
I bet. I mean, I was with a buddy of mine, my buddy Brian, who is a big Eagles fan, and getting to watch his team win a ring, especially over that man. It's probably pretty fun to watch.
I hate to say this, but thank God for the NFC East.
Yeah, because well, actually, can I? I'm going to dive into my number five because my number five is a 2007 or yeah 2007 Super Bowl. I don't really want to remember this because Green Bay should have been in that Super Bowl, if not for Brett Favre making a really bad mistake. But my number five upset is the New York Football Giants upsetting the undefeated New England Patriots. Eli to David Tyree, and then Eli to Plax.
That was a great,
I mean, so many great moments
great
from
Super
that.
Bowl.
And nobody gave the Giants a shot. I was just rooting for them because I didn't want to see New England win.
Yeah,
But then,
same.
but then it made me more sad because of what happened 2 weeks prior with Brett Favre. But yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
My number 4 is Appalachia State beating Michigan. I think it was like the 07 ish.
yeah, that sounds right.
I was in Michigan that weekend too,
Oh boy,
at my aunt's house for thanks. Was it on Thanksgiving? I know we were there, and it was awesome. People were very, very upset.
that's good. That's really good because I mean it couldn't have no better people than Michigan at all. I do not like their fans, Cody. I do not like their fans at all.
I got a brother that is, so so like all my nieces and that are also, but I don't think they care. But I can't get too bad. I can't bash on them too bad.
Okay, that's understandable. So my number four is we were actually watching this game in Orlando because we were on vacation during March Madness. What year was it? Was it 2018, 2017, 2018? When number 16 seed UMBC, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, upset the number one overall seed Virginia Cavaliers in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
That was pretty sweet. I do remember that.
Like UNBC they were the 68th rated team, or when they seed teams 1 to
Yep.
68, because I believe they had an under 500 record, and they shouldn't even won their conference tournament. Somehow I think they had a couple comeback wins, and they win that, and then they upset the number one team in the nation, who end up winning the championship the next year on a little redemption tour. But that's pretty sweet. Word, yeah, that's you gotta love it. It's why I love March Madness so much.
Yeah, I'm actually. This is my number 3 is my only wrestling one, because actually some of the biggest upsets have been against my favorite people, so they don't count as my favorite upsets by any means.
Yep.
But I do remember, it's not even a form of wrestling I watch much of, but in the 2000 Olympics, Rulon Gardner, boy from Iowa, I think he was from Iowa, but he wrestled for collegiately for Nebraska. He upset, let's see what's guys, Alexander Carolyn in the Greco-Roman heavyweight gold medal match. Okay. The Alexander Carolyn was undefeated for 13 years going into that match from Russia. And so one time, there might have been another time that a heavily underdog United States person or team was going up against a longtime undefeated Soviet team or person. But yeah, Rulon Gardner defeating Alexander Carolyn in the 2000 Olympics was one of the greatest moments I remember. And Rulon Gardner has not aged well. He's a big dude. He was a big dude then, but he big. But God, that was sweet. United States never does well in Greco-Roman wrestling, but he won the gold. It was awesome.
So next on my list, I'm going to continue. I'm going to go off of yours, and it's not wrestling related. It's what you just brought up. Cody, do you believe in miracles?
I do.
Good. So did Al Michaels. So did all the United States. In 1980,
Herb Brooks.
they upset the Soviet hockey team. It's so good. They should make a movie about that.
They should.
I mean, it was. I'll just call it a miracle by chance. I don't know.
It's a good name. We should run it. Pitch it to, I don't know, Disney?
Okay, cool. I'll have my people can talk. As long as we didn't take off the big mouse last week. But yeah, the Miracle on Ice.
I am now very interested to see your number 1 and 2. Because my number 2 has been mentioned by you already. It was the Giants. Defeating the Patriots after the is the 07 season, right? So the Super Bowl happened in 08?
Yeah. Yeah. I just I always just call whatever it happened in.
Breaking news, Carter. I just saw Carter Vereg. I can't pronounce their name. Carter
Verhege?
Yeah.
Wait.
He just signed a extension.
Oh, good. For the Florida Panthers? Good for him.
Yeah. 8 year? Whoa. That's...
Dang.
Let's see. Come on, buddy. Oh.
What? What do you
Padres.
Got? Yeah, they just won. You hate to see it. Not really, but I'm seeing.
Verhege said he signed the new deal right before the game. He said he had half his gear on. Nice. He doesn't even think all of his teammates know yet.
8 years, $7 million per year, so $56 million.
That's pretty good.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Wow. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 of their players right now with at least 6 years left on their contracts.
Not bad for the reigning Stanley Cup champs.
No.
Not bad at all. But yeah, so you had the Giants Patriots on, you said?
Yes. I remember going hoarse that game. Yeah. I had a Super Bowl party at my parents' house. And I remember by the end of it, I could not speak very well because I had screamed myself hoarse.
I don't know. I remember yelling a lot after that game too. I was happy.
Because, well, I mean, as a Dolphins fan, seeing the Patriots go undefeated was really, really disturbing. And then seeing them get knocked off right before they had that perfect season, and that the 72 Dolphins could pop some champagne.
Quick little side note, too, on that. If I remember it, after the Giants went down and scored, like, the Patriots took, 3 straight home run balls. I think they tried throwing it, to Randy 3 straight downs, and it made, 0 sense. Because they still had a bunch of time left, and they had Tommy, who, that was, his winning time.
He was in the prime, yeah.
Yeah. So, my number 2 is one that you already mentioned already. The start of the Big Ten Network with App State upsetting Michigan.
Okay.
You know that I hated App State. I guess that
does.
I really hated App State. I know, but I really hated App State because they just beat you and I for the national title maybe about 3-4 years prior for the FCS. And this is when they were on their reign of terror. And, oh my gosh, I hated them so bad. But I hated Michigan so much. And then just hearing that they upset Michigan at the Big House. Again, on the start, when the Big Ten Network, started. Oh, and just the blocked field goal. You hear, and they always play, the radio announcers from App State saying that they're going to upset the Michigan Wolverines. And it's just oh my gosh.
They did it.
Okay, so who's number one?
My number 1 has been mentioned, and it is the Miracle on Ice. 1980, Herb Brooks taking the U.S. to defeat the Soviets. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Russians. That movie gives me goosebumps. Such
a good movie.
I think one of the, if we played them 10 times, they'd probably win 9 of them. But not tonight.
And again, the crazy thing about that, it wasn't even for the gold medal.
I know.
Like they'd
I
still
know.
be. Was it Finland? I
Sweden.
think. Oh, okay,
Was
it
it?
was Sweden. No, I thought it was Finland.
Was it? Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up quick just to verify. But uh, that was that was
And they
awesome.
had to. I know that they had to come back in the gold medal game too. But
Let's see.
see, like the crazy thing about that, like, so one of the biggest upsets that I remember seeing was, I mean, one of the biggest upsets in college wrestling ever was Matt Ramos beating Spencer Lee in the quarters
Mm-hmm.
and maybe quarters or semis, and that was huge upset. Ramos didn't finish it off. He lost the next match and he
Mm.
lost in the finals to Pat Glory.
Yeah, it was Finland. I just looked it up,
It
and
was
it was
okay.
Finland. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it wouldn't. The up, like you said though, the upset's great. It wouldn't matter if they. It wouldn't matter as much if they wouldn't have won gold. But
Yeah.
so, my number one. It's not Rocky beating Drago. It's not Happy over Shooter. It's not Average Joe's coming back and being Global
Ooh,
Jim.
that was good.
But this one I'm actually going partly homerism on. I
Shot.
believe it is. I got to make sure I get the year right on this. I'm pretty sure it was 2010. The second round of the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yeah.
A little
That makes
school
sense.
from the University of Northern Iowa,
Yeah.
from Cedar Falls, Iowa, is playing the number one seed Kansas Jayhawks, the overwhelming favorite to win the national championship that year. And you and I led most of the game. Kansas starts calling back. And then I believe it was a 2-point game when Ali Farouk, or maybe it was a 1-point game, where Ali Farouk has balls of steel and steps up and hits a big time three with just over 30 seconds left when he didn't even have to shoot the shot. And you and I upsets Kansas, going to their first ever Sweet 16. It was insane. I remember
I do remember that.
I was actually at my grandma's in Austin, Minnesota, watching that, and I think Dad and I were celebrating up the wazoo. It was, oh, still just get like every time when the NCAA tournament comes around, they always have to show that clip just
Oh
because of how
yeah.
big of an upset it was. And I mean, Ali is one of the March legends, or the legends of March, and oh, it just gives me chills. Unfortunately, you and I did lose the next round, their next game to Michigan State, but I don't care. They beat Kansas. They went to the Sweet 16. It was freaking awesome.
It's kind of like like that. That's almost one of the teams. Like like Pat Glory had to be the biggest fan of Matt Ramos when he beat Spencer Lee because he knew he was facing him next instead of Spencer Lee, and it's like I have a better shot against Matt Ramos than I do Spencer.
Yeah.
Same type of thing for like Michigan State. Probably like awesome. We have to play
Yeah.
you and I, and not K State or Kansas. Kansas.
Yeah, against Kansas. That still ticks me off because I think you and I actually had a good chance of beating Michigan State, and then I can't remember if Michigan State won their Elite Eight game or if they lost. I thought they won, so it's like, oh, we could have went to the Final Four that year, but it's all right. We we slayed Goliath, and it was awesome.
Yep. Yeah,
So
upsets are
yeah,
sweet, and that's what I pay a little bit of attention to the NCAA bracket for. Just the upsets. I don't care about the rest of it.
yeah. I mean, again, everybody loves the little guy. It's just fun watching Cinderfella dance, and then late, especially years late, where those very high seeds start making runs a little bit further each year. There will be one of these years where they get all the way to the Final Four. I don't know when, but one of these years.
That I mean, you never. They talked about it for years that there was never going to be a number one seed that lost round one, but
Mm-hmm.
for it to be the number one overall seed makes it
Yep.
that much sweeter.
Yep. And then just a couple years ago, Purdue got beat by Fairleigh
Yeah.
Dickinson. So I mean, it's happened twice now in the last like 6 years. So yeah, we love upsets. We don't love to be upset, but we love upsets.
Very true. And hey,
So
the Dolphins don't play this weekend, so there's a lot less likely I'll be upset. on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
Saturday, we got the Red River rivalry.
yeah. And I was still, side note, I was still favored over Washington.
Washington.
How? I don't know how. I really don't know how. But should be a fun weekend of college football, though. And then I'll be stressing out on Sunday between the Packers game and the NASCAR race. So hopefully Blaney can make it on to the next round, and that'll help ease my pain, help ease everything just a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, Cody, we covered a lot today.
We did.
We
It was a
did.
good episode. Good time. Great oldies.
It was.
That's K Viking Gold used to say that a lot. Good times, great
Oh,
oldies.
oh yeah, because they do play the oldies. They were.
Except for their,
I think they still are. They still are the home to MRN for NASCAR's official racing station.
Except for their oldies are now like stuff that I used to listen to, so that scares me.
Oh, so it's diving into that. Oh, that's not. Yeah. That does scare me. That really does scare me. Give it like 10, 15 years. It's actually going to be the really good stuff that's like, oh, they're playing. That's. No, no.
It's already there to me. Like a lot of this stuff is like I was listening to this in high school.
I know, but I'm talking about for me.
I know, but I don't have that much gray. Maybe more in the beard.
I can see 1, 2, 7. I count 7.
Those are chins, not gray.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry, my bad. So, anything else you got?
Well, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, comment, and keep listening.
And remember, everybody, that fullbacks are people too.
God, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Instead of say.
I know. It's just so awesome.
It is they're the best. But
okay, I guess
everybody have a great weekend and a great weekend. And remember to follow along to see how many more picks I have right than Andy does.
Or just watch me close the gap. So, thank you everybody for listening, and we will catch you closing. Titan, not closing. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. So, thank you everybody for listening. We will catch you next week.
And Andy will never catch me. What up?
Deuces.
I'm the gingerbread